globe-trotting duo during one of the rare moments of relaxation that punctuate their otherwise hectic lives. Chris, Martin, your escapades have taken you all over the world, but you do have some roots in terms of your creature adventuring right here in Vermont. Tell us about that.
Well, our earliest creature adventures happened right here in Vermont. We spent every summer since I was 5 and Chris was 3 camping out up in northern Vermont. And basically all we did every day was wander around looking for frogs and snakes and deer and whatever we could find.
And porcupines. Our dog, our pet St. Bernard, always got into trouble with the porcupines.
Yeah, but she always knew where to find them, you know? So we just follow her through the woods, and she'd lead us to a porcupine, and we'd be able to check it out, and then we saw her get the quills, and then we had to take her to the vet, you know? So it was that. Those were some of our first creature adventures, for sure.
So you take this childhood experience and your education as a biologist and a zoologist, and you package it into this wonderful show. What are your goals for the show? What are you trying to tell the audience or teach the audience?
Well, what Martin and I want to do is personally meet all the creatures that share the planet with us and introduce viewers, kids, adults, everybody we can to the incredible animals that we share the planet with. That's our mission.
Yeah, and you know, we hope a side effect of that, of going out and showing the people all the amazing creatures that we share the planet with, that people, and kids especially, will say, wow, these animals are so neat. I want to make sure they stick around. And so maybe the show will do something to help endangered species. But then interestingly, that was our primary motivation, but the show's been on the air for a year now. And we spent a lot of time traveling around doing book signings, meeting kids. And one of the things that's developed out of that is we've really become interested in helping kids realize their dreams, because Chris and I, we started out, you know, dreaming, wow, wouldn't it be great if we could travel around the world, meet animals, learn things about animals. And so we just set out and did it. And we want to, by our example, show kids that whatever they're interested, they can pursue that and make a life out of the interests that they really love.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the show, because if kids or adults, and I should say their parents, haven't seen the show, it's very exciting. It's got a lot of entertainment value. It's very educational. It's high energy. You guys get in some very daring situations. At least that's what it looks like. Have there been any situations that you've tried that you thought, too daring?
Well, everything we do is out of our quest to find out what it's like to be the animal. We want to get in there with those animals. We want to experience life from their perspective. So that's why when we're out on the African savanna and we're observing hyenas who've just finished eating from a kill, they go directly over to a mud hole and stick their entire heads in the mud. You know, so we wanted to know why and figure it out. So we went over, stuck our heads in the mud. And we realized that the reason they're doing that is because they want to cover up the blood on their face so that bugs won't come and land on them and bother them, maybe lay eggs in their fur. And so that's why we're hanging out with hyenas in Africa, which some people might see as being really dangerous. But if you understand animals and you know their behavior, you can hang out with animals without really being in danger, because you can respond to their responses and their reactions to you. You know, if you understand them, you can hang out with them.
But one of the things we didn't do, because it was too dangerous, was take our raft. We had to cross a river, and it was the Mara River. And we were going to do it in a raft, but we saw all these hippos, and we knew hippos are really territorial. So before going across the river, we pulled out our hippo test dummy. His name is Ken, and we sent him down the river first.
But you know, we got him all ready for safari. He's all dressed up in safari gear and everything,
just to test the waters. And it actually happened that the hippos attacked Ken and the raft, and so we knew we had to find a bridge.
Oh, it was like when the hippo attacked Ken was just there rowing across the river, and the hippo attacked and took the raft and Ken and shook it like a terrier shakes a rag, you know, and Ken's head flew off and everything. And so from that creature experiment, we learned how territorial hippos are. And like Chris said, we had to find the bridge.
But, you know, in watching the show, you guys really put yourselves in interesting circumstances. Again, one time you're right off the branch from a leopard, or you're going down into city sewers searching for alligators, the mythical alligators. Have you ever felt, I mean, are you just so brave that you never feel any anticipation about doing these things?
Oh, well, you know, when we went swimming with the sharks, for example, we were pretty nervous about going down there and swimming with sharks. You know, you've heard all the stories, you hear about Jaws, you hear about all this. But we've done a lot of reading about sharks, and really, out of all of the 360 species of sharks in the world, only 5 see humans as potential prey. You know, so we decided to go swimming with a species that didn't see humans as prey, the Caribbean reef shark, and as long as we didn't do things to threaten them, we were able to hang out with them, and it was a wonderful, peaceful, otherworldly experience swimming with those sharks.
Now, also in the show, you have other characters. There are other people in the show that you're communicating
Can I
with.
just add one thing?
Absolutely.
You know, it's something. We were with a shark expert down in the Caribbean who we were doing the show with, and he said something which we thought was really funny, and from our experience in Vermont, it really hit home. Is he said that you're more likely to get injured by a cow than you are a shark. Yeah. So,
well, that's good news for us in Vermont.
Right, exactly.
I did want to talk a little bit about the format of the show too, because you have other characters within the show. What parts do they play in delivering the messages that you want to get out of the show?
Well, we have a great character named Allison that you mentioned. She hangs out in the Creature Club, which is our home base. And she is a wonderfully smart girl who likes animals and wants to learn more and more about animals as much as she can. So we see her as basically a surrogate to the audience. She's our audience out there. Smart kids who want to know more.
And basically, what she does is what we hope all the kids out there will do. She's researching animals, she's reading books, she's into computers, getting information, but she's also taking that next step of going out into the field, doing her own creature adventures. And then as she starts, you know, like kids, they can't go flying to Africa while they're 10 because they got to go to school and do all that kind of stuff, but they can see their own backyard. And someday, when they're in college, you know, when they're older, they can go to Costa Rica, they can go to Madagascar, they can experience the world and do whatever they want to do.
And you know, one of the best things to come out of this show, one of the things we're most happy about, is that kids are writing us letters and talking to us when we see them, saying that they're going out on their own creature adventures to meet animals in their backyard. They go on imaginary adventures to Africa and the Great Barrier Reef.
Well, in terms of next steps, you guys are already working on a show, a new creature show, which is going to appeal to a different audience. What's up with that?
Well, after Kratt's Creatures was on the air, we realized we had designed it so that it would be for elementary school-aged kids. But we realized that it had such a broader range of viewers. Adults were watching it. You know, we were at a book signing once, and instead of looking up and seeing a face right there, we saw knees, and it was a guy from the local fire department who said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, down at station number 13, every day at 4:30, we put down our cards and watch Kratt's Creatures." But so also preschoolers were watching it. Little 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and you know, the show's so fast-paced, a lot of it was going over their head, but they were attracted to our enthusiasm, attracted to the animals. So PBS asked us to design a new show, the first wildlife show ever for preschoolers. And we've done that. It's called Zabumafu. We're in production. We're going to have 40 half hours on PBS in 1999.
Well, listen, I know we had a time. We really appreciate it. Chris and Martin Kratt, thanks so much for joining us on Points North.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks
Rob.
a lot.
Be with us next week.